What's up, internet? So this is actually a two-part video. I already made one on 120 decibels and I'm making this one as well, but in a separate video because there's just too much information, because Europe has started waking up and finally had enough. Now I'm gonna touch on various different countries briefly, because otherwise this video would be 5 hours long. I'm not gonna go too much into Germany because I covered that in about 3 videos so far. I'll link them down below, but there have been numerous protests over there against the immigration policies that they currently have over there. A lot of people are saying these protests are racist and anti-immigrant, and a lot of media is also portraying them as far right, as this is such an insane ideology that trying to protect your own country and realizing that there's no more room for more people coming in, you know, is such a wild thought that you must be racist. Or the media doesn't even cover it, like for example the Football Alliance March, that the first one had 10,000 people coming and the second one had about 70,000 people coming. What they posted recently is next to their football club is a poster. Let's do celebrate that in Europe, because that makes so much sense. I also want to point out that there have been numerous street protests by a lot of people who are not even from Europe, seem to be taking the streets in order to protest about something that is happening in Turkey or in Syria or in Libya or anywhere nowhere near Europe. And you know, that's normal as well. Makes a ton of sense for that to be happening in Europe. And now, even with the amount of people that Europe took in, there's still about 1 million people waiting in Libya to travel via Mediterranean Sea and enter Europe. A lot of pressure is actually put on Austria, who just joined the group of countries who said no to European plan of accepting at least 160,000 refugees in their country. That's an absolute must. And the reason why they're doing that is because the frontliner countries, for example Greece and Italy, have accepted so many people already that they're literally suffocating in refugees. And Hungary and Poland and Czech Republic were already from the beginning saying, you wanted this, we didn't want that, no more room, stop. A lot of these groups of people, the majority of it, have traveled from numerous safe countries prior to arriving to Austria or Germany or their country of choice. Now that's very important here. A lot of these people have a country of choice.
Germany. Stay here in Slovenia? No, I'm listening. Slovenia is a poor state.
I go Germany.
This is no good. For dog, I give this for dog, not egg. Dog. This for women, problem.
What is no good?
Yeah, the place we are sleep is too hot, and the food we eat is not good. No television, no any fan, air condition, no. We need comfortable place, because we place we sleep is not good.
No good.
Water. Underwater. This is not good.
Water.
When water, it rain. You cannot sleep well.
We are in bad conditions.
You can. Regardez, viens. Regardez ici.
Look at our documents. We are tired. Look at where people are sleeping. Some snake, come. We need the document. We need the document to live here because we suffer. You suffer. Try to help us.
C'est terrible.
Now let's move on to Scotland. Scotland has been in fear recently because the amount of refugees that they were supposed to take in the next few years has already been exceeded in 3 years ago. And now there's actually a proposition to give voting rights to refugees, because it's only fair if citizens get a chance to vote, so should refugees. Gee, I wonder who they're gonna vote then. Like, there's zero agenda here, right? For example, Austria accepted over 150,000 refugees in the past few years, and if you know, Austria is not that big of a country. So now what they're doing, along with Germany, they are paying people to go back home. They give them a certain amount of money, and so they can cover their ticket and go voluntarily home. And that's a very big financial burden for those countries, especially Germany, that is anticipating on accepting millions and millions of refugees by 2020, along with the ones that they already accepted and lost track of. In Austria, the way it works, if you don't get a permit to stay, you have to go or you're gonna be deported. But Austria figured, I want to invest in Nigeria, I want to have good relationship with Nigerians, so I'm gonna train Nigerians for them to not present a liability when they return home and to have extra skills that they can offer in order for them to be accepted with open hands. And all of this seems like common sense, but a lot of the media, including the website Stand Up to Racism, is portraying all of these actions as extremely racist and then going to an extra mile, which tells you how little they know about hijabs in, for example, Saudi Arabia, where they are mandatory or you can get killed. But hijab in Europe and in America is an expression of feminism. God, this world is all conflicted. They're also gonna have their own march on 17th of March that is being promoted pretty much everywhere. And their agenda is European nationals here to stay. Refugees and migrants welcome. No to racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and fascism. Black Lives Matter. Defend free movement. And stand up to Trump. Let's also talk about another extreme, a bill that is being proposed for the family reunion of refugees. So let me get this straight. Europe, being overcrowded with multiple people that aren't, you know, of that origin and don't speak the language, is thinking of solving the problem by inviting more people. And that is exactly what is happening in Germany right now. But don't worry, they're gonna cap it at 1,000 family members per month. That's as much as they're gonna take. But that still amounts to 120,000 per year. Where are you gonna put them, Merkel? Where? You know, Scotland is completely fucked with their first minister. I mean, her words are, Scotland should accept 1,000 people as a starting point for further help with initial funding of £1 million going to a new task force that has been set up to look at what can be done. She's also agreeing with Justin Trudeau, who is saying that Canada is welcome and opening and everybody should go everywhere because borders were made for. And even though he tweeted that, a lot of them got arrested actually. And the fact that far-right party is almost as popular as Social Democratic Party, that tells you everything. You know, but what you're gonna see in the media, usually you're gonna see pictures like these. And people are gonna talk about, oh, but what about the children? Think of the children. When pretty much 90% of these refugees are men between 18 to 35. But it's an incredibly uncomfortable topic that nobody wants to talk about because, you know,